There's a lot of sort of unprecedented elements to this presidency. Of course, we're also getting news of his latest approval ratings falling to 34%. What sort of tone is he leaving the White House on?
Well, I mean, he's essentially abandoned the sort of day-to-day work of governing for the last little while. These are just unheard of numbers in terms of how low his approval rating is, and the effort to sort of plan him a goodbye as effectively counter-programming to Biden's inauguration just is another rejection of precedent and history. And on top of that, of course, we've got the pandemic and the security threat hanging over the inauguration. And here in Washington, it looks like something of a war zone with all the troops and fencing and whatnot and security. So, it'll be a remarkable day on Wednesday. Trump is hightailing it to get out. I think there's sort of still an open question about what he's going to do with the waning hours of his presidency, 40 or so hours left, 43 hours left. So, I think we're watching to see where it goes. But,
okay.
I don't know that we'll see again a case where a president just refuses to go to the inauguration of his successor.
Well, Josh, one thing people have been wondering about and may not have to watch as they thought is if Donald Trump would pardon himself, pardon family members. Yeah. Bloomberg team in Washington doing some reporting on that, saying probably not.
Yeah, our colleagues Jennifer Jacobs and Jordan Fabian are saying it doesn't look like it as of now. There's no text prepared for him to do that, no paper sitting there waiting for a signature. Same thing for his children, namely Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner, two of his most senior aides. And there's a couple moving parts on this. One is that doing so, no U.S. president has tried to do it, and it's a legal dispute about whether they even can do it. But Trump, in doing so, number one, might invite a challenge. It might test the theory of whether he can do it. And the other one is it would be kind of admitting that he has something to pardon. It would be admitting that he's at risk. And Trump is not a guy that likes to do that, even in the face of pressure. So it looks like he's ruled that out, and that, of course, opens him potentially to criminal prosecution related to his time as president. And that's on top of other legal challenges that were already bubbling, that he's been using the presidency to sort of bat back. So I think it'll be he's going to have some legal headaches going forward, but it doesn't look like he will do pardons for himself or his family. Instead, we do expect a big chunk of pardons to come out tomorrow, including, celebrities, that sort of thing.
Josh, in the meantime, we're also watching the Senate confirmation hearing for Janet Yellen to kind of usher in this new era and some of the new staffing arrangements that the president-elect has begun to put in place. What are we expecting to hear? And this is also kind of the first forum, I guess, where we get some congressional reaction and lawmakers' reaction to the stimulus proposal.
Yeah, our colleagues Saleha Mohsen and Jenny Leonard have written a preview of her piece of her testimony that's worth reading. That stimulus thing is the big question. Remember, Biden wants that to get through Congress on a bipartisan basis in a matter of days or weeks, a small number of weeks. And that's going to be a tall order for Yellen to sort of thread the needle on that. Politicking really wasn't really her gig before. And in particular, Biden's proposal has some poison pill elements, things that Republicans are already balking at, things like a $15 minimum wage, for instance. So we'll see how far it goes. The urgency is, I think, Biden's number one priority. And so it's very unclear right now how quickly Yellen will get into office, and then once she is, how quickly she'll be able to navigate the divides in Congress.